Hi, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways to be able to lead yourself and your team during COVID-19. My name's Kylie Butler, and I'm a part of the Christian Coaching Institute, which is Australia's leading Christian coaching organisation. I've been part of the team there for about 10 years now, both coaching and training. It's great to be able to have you online with us today. You know, it's been a bit of a week of glimpses of hope this week here in Australia as we begin to just slowly begin to actually reopen things, really cautiously, really slowly. But as I've chatted with leaders, there's been this mix of joy and fear. A joy of being able to visit family and friends again, to be able to share a meal, to be able to chat to someone like face to face, like in the flesh, not just over Zoom or online or whatever that might be. And it just brings this big smiles, but sometimes even that tears of joy. But mixed with that is a real level of fear. If everybody starts doing that, is the virus going to spread? What if I get it? What if I expose somebody else to it? What if I pass it on to a loved one? Are my colleagues safe in the interactions that they have with others? This brings with it just such an unusual feeling. People are a threat. Being in close proximity to somebody is actually threatening to our safety and our well-being. And that's not something that we've previously had to deal with on a day-to-day basis prior to COVID-19. But this threat triggers our stress response, our fight, our freeze and our flee response, our stress responses. There are a number of things that actually can trigger our fight, freeze and flee responses. Things like slamming on the brakes when the car in front of you suddenly stops, encountering a growling dog while you might be out walking outside, jumping out of the way when someone kind of comes around the corner and actually spooks you, or maybe feeling unsafe as you walk down the street. The response is instantly happens. There's this hormonal change that happens. There's a physiological change that happens that allows us to actually act quickly and protect ourselves. It's our survival instinct. Our heart rate increases, our oxygen increases and goes to the muscles within our body. Our pain perception drops, our hearing sharpens, and we are on high alert. But it's not just the things like this that actually cause stress responses. There are also social threats. And as leaders, we need to be aware of these, particularly in this high uncertainty, this season of rapid change and movement, because these can be heightened. They can be heightened in ourselves. They can be heightened in others, in our team, our family, or our friends. Or it could actually be us that's causing these to be heightened and triggered into other people. So David Rock, not CCI's much loved David Rock, but another David Rock, a scientist, David Rock, a well-known leadership coach, has spent years actually exploring the use of neuroscience, so brain science, in management, coaching, and leadership. And he came up with this model, which is called the SCARF model. Easy to remember. It's getting cold down here in winter, so think of SCARF model. He developed it in about 2008. And it's a brain-based model for collaborating with and influencing others. Now, SCARF stands for the 5 key domains that influence our behavior in social situations. So there's 5 of these. The first one being status, our need to feel that we and the work that we do is valued. The second one is certainty, our need to know what will actually happen next. The third one is autonomy, our need to feel that we have some control over what we do every day. The fourth one is relatedness, our need to feel that we are among friends, that we're a part of a community. And the fifth one is fairness, our need to feel that we are fairly treated. So let's look at this first one, status. This is our sense of worth and value within a team or an organization. It's where we fit in hierarchically, both socially and organizationally. And we need to be aware of this because our reduced face-to-face connection with people, this sense of value or worth can actually be diminished quite quickly in virtual teams. So just a couple of tips in this area is to, involve your team in decisions and where possible, especially the ones that actually impact the work that they do. Ask for feedback from your direct reports on what you can do better and how you can actually better support their success. And also give consistent and specific feedback to when your team members do things well. This second area around certainty, our need to actually know what will actually happen next. So creating uncertainty is really difficult in a changing situation. But it is essential for us to be able to do that for our team. It's critical that our team members have a clear understanding of the plan of action of what we're doing, especially when they're working from home. So some tips here is to make sure that you have regular communication with your team. Actually increase your level of communication than what you would normally do. Even if you are communicating no change, that is better than no communication at all. Otherwise, your team will fill the gap with what they don't know and what they think is happening. This third area is around autonomy, our need to actually have some sort of control over what we do every day. We have suddenly been thrust into new and unexpected scenarios, which can be really unsettling for our team. Being available to answer questions and create certainty is one thing, but leaders can't do that 24/7. Like, we can't be available and create certainty all the time. So some tips here is to actually make it clear of what people can decide for themselves. Some people will naturally be able to decide what to do, and others will prefer that you actually create some parameters for them. That you give them a bit of a steer. You really do need to be able to know your team and ask them. Support your team to do independent problem solving on their own and compliment them when they're doing it. Encourage them to do that. Let them know that you trust their judgment. And the third tip is actually resist the urge to give too much direction. Very few people enjoy being micromanaged, so resist the urge to be able to do that. The fourth area to consider is relatedness, our need to feel like we are among friends and that we're in a community. In COVID-19, relatedness, otherwise known, referred to as inclusion, is highly threatened, particularly if you don't make regular contact with your people and if you don't create opportunities for social interaction with your team, even if it's virtual. So encourage you to actually touch base with all of your team really regularly. Hold one-on-ones with each of your team member as well as your regular team meetings. Look for opportunities to be able to create virtual fun, and also look out for colleagues who might actually be isolated in their work and lean in and press into them. And the fifth area is around fairness, our need to feel like we are fairly treated. This one is just as it sounds. Fairness is about an individual feeling that what is happening to them is fair. This could be job assignments, position, hierarchy, pay, whatever that might be. In this area, I just want to encourage you to share some details around why the decisions were made. Be transparent as you can in how the changes affect the various stakeholders within your organization. So there's really few surprises. We want to limit as many surprises as possible for how individuals and teams are impacted. I want to encourage you to actually take a look at each of these 5 areas for yourself, which ones might be being triggered for you, and also do an assessment or a review on each one of your team members. If you're interested in being able to grow and have better conversations with your team, why not join me as we begin our next round of Coach Mastery course, which is beginning on Thursday evenings, starting June the 4th. Now that evening is Melbourne time. So if you'd like to develop your coaching skills, then join me online for that course. It is online. We've been doing online for a couple of years now, so we've got a handle on how to do some online training. But let me give you a summary of what we chatted around today. So SCARF stands for the 5 key domains that influence our behaviour in social situations. The first one being status, our need to feel that the work that we do is valued and has a purpose. The second one being certainty, our need to know what will kind of happen next. Autonomy, our need to feel that we have some control over what we do each day. Relatedness, the fourth one, our need to feel that we are among friends and that we are in a community. The fifth one, fairness, our need to feel like we are being fairly treated. Why not take a look at these for yourself and for your team this week? Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock.